dear people of Ambazonia, our fellow brave warriors of our liberation movement, accept liberation greetings from me, Comrade John Akuro, this Sunday, which is the 6th day of the month of April, the year 2025. I'm very delighted to be once more on the set, so we should conduct yet another exercise of information sharing, education, and sensitization of our people, and most importantly, of mobilizing our people towards contributing to make our liberation movement strong and to ensure that at the end of the day, we deliver a free, independent, and a prosperous Ambazonia to the people of the Southern Cameroons and to generations upon generations of Ambazonians to come. I'd like to extend hearty salutes to all our people, wherever they may be. Today specifically, I want to greet the people of Akwaya. I also want to send special salutes to our people in Eshindi. That is the area where some Walang Richard Eboa, along with La Republique du Cameroun's Minister of Public Works, claimed that they constructed a road which is not existing. So I just want to extend regards to the people in those localities. Meantime, I also want to acknowledge all those who continue to put their lives on the line by day and by night to ensure that we have a free country right ahead. My people of Ambazonia, that said, today we are going to be examining something really interesting and strange. But I'd like to tell you this is where we find ourselves, and we really must know that. But before we get into the beef of our discussion today, I'd like us to share this thought together. Sometimes change isn't what we want, but it might be what we need. Not everything is meant to last forever. Again, sometimes change isn't what we want, but it might be what we need. Not everything is meant to last forever. I bring this thought here because I know that there are some people, I know that, there are very few, but they are there. They may represent 1% or even less, who are so satisfied with the way things are going on right now. Some Southern Cameroonians, some Ambazonians, because they believe they are making the best possible benefits from a situation where over 98% of the people are reeling from pains, are being dehumanized, disabused, looted, being timified. So there are those kind of people. But my message for them today is that sometimes change isn't what we want, but it might be what we need. Not everything is meant to last forever. That said, let's listen to this brave young woman remind us of the stakes right ahead of us in this liberation movement. In some quarters, some people appear to be thinking that we really have an option in this fight. We don't have an option. No, we don't have an option. That's why I have the habit of saying failure is not an option. That's why I have the habit of reminding people that settling for the status quo is not only stupidity, but it's a losing strategy. Settling for anything less is even worse. And that's what I've often said here, that anytime you settle for less than you deserve, you end up with far less than you settled for. Let's listen to the gentle damsel.
To battle with warriors. I came with great men. I came with champions. I came with men who are saviors, protectors of their clan. I came with great and real men. What I see here are weaklings, banana stems. What is it? You're tired? You wish to go home? Go home to your wives and children who are eagerly waiting to hear the good news that we won this war. And tell them, like weaklings, we lost the war. No! No. Because I am the leader of this war. I say this war is not over until we win. I would rather die in battle than die on my knees begging another man for my inheritance. We fight for our people. We fight for our rights. We fight for freedom. And I say we battle. I say we battle till we die. I say we battle till we win. I say this war is not over until we win. Warriors, on your feet. Pick up your weapons.
Did you hear that? So, if you have started drawing back, the time to come back to the fold is now. No options, no choice. We have to win. We have to get freedom. Ambazonia has to happen. Southern Cameroons has to be free. And this is the sacred deal we got into with Molanjoli Tumbe, who is gone and is waiting for the good news on the other side. That is what we entered into an agreement with Womba Ivor, with Chief Ete Ayamba Otto, with Justice Alobode Depie, with all those who have perished in the dungeons of the Republique du Cameroun, with all those who have perished on the battlefield, with Mame Happy, with Bebe Carol Louis, with Bebe Tato Brandy, with Samuel Wazizi. That is the agreement we sealed. We will never blink. Let's make a little crossover around La République du Cameroun, then we get into our real business of the day. Take a look at this picture. You see, the people you see there are soldiers of La République du Cameroun. Among them, Southern Cameroonians, misguided Southern Cameroonians. Among them, misguided Ambazonians, who will not stand and listen and join their people to fight for a noble cause, the cause for freedom. You see, right from the day the announcement was made about this unfortunate, condemnable, unacceptable attack by Boko Haram in the northern part of La République du Cameroun, the Cameroon government, Paul Biya, who is purportedly on social media spraying rubbish about national unity, had never gone out for 1 second to extend even just his heartfelt sympathy and condolences to the families of those people. Not once has he spoken. I saw people were campaigning on social media, raising questions about it, counting day 1, day 2, some of them week 2, week 3, nothing. My frustration is that Southern Cameroon's children are among them. You know in advance that your life is not valued. You know in advance that you are not even considered human. You know in advance that these people don't even need you. You only make sense to them when you have to go and die uselessly. You know in advance that within their forces, you will never even be in command position. They will always sit in the offices and send but you where it is hottest. Yet, you carry yourselves. This is what Police Superintendent Albert Leopold Ebene was talking about yesterday. This is what he has been talking about in his podcasts, expressing disgust and disappointment at Southern Cameroonians who are members of the armed forces of La République du Cameroun. Because he asked, they send you to go and kill your mothers. They send you to go and kill your fathers, to go and kill your brothers, to go and destroy your villages, to go and loot your people. And you participate with the enemy in looting your people, in raping your own sisters, in raping your own mothers, in raping your brothers' wives. That disgust was not coming just from me. It was coming from a citizen, or coming from a citizen of La Republique du Cameroun. My dear people of Ambazonia, you have members of your family who are serving in the armed forces of La Republique du Cameroun. This is the time for you to talk to them. This is the time for you to give them a call. This is the time for you to remind them that the citizens of La Republique du Cameroun are telling them that first fool, not be fool. Second fool, you are stupid. This is the time to remind them that their services are not valued by La Republique du Cameroun. This is the time to remind them that citizens of La Republique du Cameroun are seeing them as not only being human, but are seeing them like people who don't have brains. They're seeing them like bird brains. People who have bird brains. People who know nothing. People who have no human feeling. People who cannot think. People who have been reduced to the status of robots. All they do is take instructions from nonagenarians like this one. Look at this one. He can't do anything, but he is better.
Vocês deixam se procurar, o problema é se o presidente mesmo tá bom.
That is Teodoro Obiangema Mbazogo, the president of Equatorial, the young president of Equatorial Guinea. But as you see him, you see the way he's moving, he's better than the vegetable in Yaoundé. That is instructing our own people to go out there and kill their own for his pleasure. My people of Ambazonia, it is embarrassing, it is shameful, it is condemnable. In fact, the integrity of those people should be doubted. If you are a soldier, a police officer, a gendarme of Southern Cameroon's extraction, operating within and for La Republique du Cameroun, the time for you to come back to your senses is now. Because as you have seen, you are not a hero to citizens of La Republique du Cameroun. You are an idiot. You heard from the lips of Commissaire Albert Leopold. They see you as idiots, as fools. Yet you are there thinking that you are their hero because you are killing yourself, your own people, killing yourselves for their sake. It is time to reason. It is time to get up from slumber. When I discuss some of those things, they really make me feel sick, and so I need a break. Let's break a little. Welcome back from Manu. It's a very beautiful number out there from Manu, giving us the possibility to relax our minds a bit of the stupidity of some of our people. My dear people of Ambazonia, fellow Southern Cameroonians, in my broadcast on Saturday, the 5th of April 2025, I spent time elaborately with the former police superintendent of La République du Cameroun, Albert Leopold Ebene, who was explaining to us just how Paul Biya, his collaborators, and the people of La République du Cameroun see the people of Ambazonia. At the end of that broadcast, I received calls from quite some of our people who were weeping on the phone. They are based in Yaoundé. They are big office holders. Were weeping on the phone and telling me, you just don't have an idea what we are going through. And my question to them, simply, because the question I've always asked, why can't you get out and come and join us so we all liberate ourselves? The answer is the same from across the board. Oh, it's not just as easy as you think. There are things that are so difficult for you to understand. And I said, make me understand. They told me, you really will not understand. And while I was still thinking about it seriously, a comrade shared with me this video that, of course, I had watched before and I had positioned for us to have a conversation on. It is a video still of the same Albert Leopold Ebene, but this is another cut in which he is providing answers to the questions I asked these folks and they couldn't answer. Hear him.
Ce qui se passe au Cameroun n'a rien à voir avec l'homosexualité. Chez nous, c'est du satanisme. Vous vous rendez compte? Ce qu'on fait subir aux chefs, aux pères de famille, les pères de famille sont détruits, vous vous rendez compte? Imaginez-vous, dans une administration où tous ceux qui doivent avoir des promotions baissent la culotte.
Now, I had said here before that the Yaoundé regime was a satanic regime. I have said here before that when you see the people of La République du Cameroun unable to help themselves, unable to rise up and free themselves from tyranny, from someone who is vegetable, from someone who has never shown them love for 42 years and counting, it is because they have been under a spell. It is because they are under a spell. But that spell did not succeed on the people of the Southern Cameroons. We're different people. When they incantate and call the names of their people and talk about the expanse of their territory, it wouldn't include the Southern Cameroons, because even in the spirit world, the Southern Cameroon is not part of La République du Cameroun. I said, when you are unevenly yoked with a people who believe in Satanism, with a people who don't even love themselves, with a people who have lost their souls, with a people who are controlled and managed by the kingdom of darkness, nothing good shall ever come out of it. Even your own progress, even your own perspectives, even everything about you is dampened. Now you hear Albert Leopold Ebene tell you here that you hear people talk about homosexuality in Cameroon, about gayness in Cameroon. He said there is no such thing in Cameroon known as gayness. It doesn't happen. Of course, you know that the laws of Cameroon are against the practice of homosexuality. Yet, over 95%, if not 100%, of those in the top government apparatus of La République du Cameroun are involved in the practice. It's no longer a secret to anybody. Now work with those people. We saw them firsthand. We could hear them. Sometimes exchanging on the phone and expressing disgust. Some of them, you will look at them. You will think that this man is so much of a Christian with integrity. But when you hear, I have a friend. He was a colleague of the private press. Sometimes he tells me, John, tu peux même le dire ça. It's one of them, can you say Sabwa? When he sat and talked to me about someone within the Southern Cameroons, this one, he was a university rector. A university rector. That one, if you call his name in places, they say, oh, that man is a man of integrity. But when someone will sit and say, oh, the man will sit and say, ah, Mbara is calling me again. Oh, this one is calling me again. Ah, these people, they just want to kill me. Look, this may sound as fallacies. I don't really want to put the names to this because the names are so full here. The scenario is so full here. The everything's so full here. And that is why a good lot of us reneged ever wanting to have positions in that administration because they came and always come with a lot of strings. So you see, like he says, that people's fathers, people's husbands, to get to a certain position in the administration, you have to pick a pin with your panties down. You have to pick a pin with your panties down. What is left of you when that is done to you? Is it a secret to anyone that Nicolas Amugunoma, who was the government delegate to the Yaoundé City Council, that he was at an orgy where 6 young men of the regime took care of him right before his family, because that was the condition, that he passed out. Nicolas Amugunoma, the bogus gentleman. My people of Ambazonia, you cannot yoke yourself to a people who have submitted wholeheartedly to the kingdom of darkness, and you're hoping that good things will happen to you. It cannot. They will never happen. I'm not the one saying it now, because if I were the one saying it directly, you would think it's a joke. But this is someone who is giving you first-hand experience. And when they do that to you, what integrity do you have again? What substance do you have again as a man? They have reduced you to nothing. They have taken away your self-esteem. There are most of them can't even resign because they all belong to these satanic lodges with rules. And most of them know, if I leave, I'm dead. If I leave, this or that bad thing will happen to me. Look, that's why no matter how much you scream on them, oh, come back, I said, they will stand there, they are telling you, we too need this freedom. But they can't move. They can't shake for 1 second. Oh, boy, they come, no. They come and sit behind, they tell you, can't this man himself realize that he's old? I have recordings, of some of them, of the records, that, I mean, when I say recordings, that means these are recordings because, I mean, I really don't want to get into how these recordings were obtained, but it was off the records, telling you just exactly how they assess that system. Yet, by the time they finish talking, you tell them, now we're recording officially. They start by telling you, Paul Biya is the way, the truth, and the life. This is what it is. They have been dehumanized. They have been reduced to animal standard. They have been taken to levels where they no longer think anything serious about themselves. That's why you hear all of them chorus to you that Paul Biya is the only person, the only that can lead that country. And to go by them, if Paul Biya dies, that country should be its end, because history will start and end with their Paul Biya. That is not what we, the people of the Southern Cameroons, believe in. That is not how we, the people of the Southern Cameroons, see things. That is not how we, the people of the Southern Cameroons, want to run our affairs. We must flee from these evil-minded people before we ourselves get consumed by that evil to an irreparable level. Hear him again.
Ces gens psychologiquement sont complètement détruits. Ils ne peuvent pas travailler pour l'intérêt du pays. Ils savent qu'ils sont là, ils bénéficient à la force de leur derrière. Et c'est pour ça qu'ils sont méchants. Ils veulent tout.
Did you hear that? Since when this happens, the people, their integrity is gone. They no longer think in integrity. People, their self-esteem is gone. They are now machines. And these people, they don't have sleep like you and I. They don't have the calm, natural, quiet dreams that you and I have. No. They have to start obeying some kind of kingdoms that they can never tell you. And you hear what he says. That is why they don't have souls anymore. They no longer have souls. They're no longer human like you and I. That is why you cannot appeal to their souls, to their good consciences, because they don't have them anymore. And he tells you that's why they're incredibly wicked, because they know what they are undergoing to get this. How many of them can help you to change your lives? You look at in various families, you have a good number of them. This one is director general, this. Nobody in the family can go anywhere. Go close, they will never do anything for you that can change your life. The only thing they can do is subject you. Across the board. In the community, this was very, the only thing they can give you, bread and sardine. And you go fighting over it throughout your life. That's the only thing they can give you, and it's official. That's what they give. You're that, see, this is it. You see them there? That is all they can give you. A fighting over 1,000, 2,000, over bread and sardine. That is it. No. They cannot do anything good for you. That is why they say this is money for project or the only embezzle. Look at Emmanuel Nganu Jumesi shamefully. Oh, now, shamelessly. That's what I wanted to say. I beg your pardon. Stand at the Prime Minister's office and tell people that within the framework of a certain so-called Grand National Dialogue, projects made for special status, one had been executed with a road. Baoro, Eshimbi, and honor to acquire, that was at 93% completion. I showed it to you. I showed you. And then when I check on the contract, I say, oh, he's right. It should be at 93% completion because it was just seasonal road maintenance. So even without Grand National Dialogue, without special status, the roads will never be maintained. The people get incredibly wicked. And the project is given to so-called son of the soil. Dishonorable Richard Walam Eboa. There was a time I actually did call him honorable. But this time the people of Southern Cameroon didn't send him to parliament. He's appointed from Yaoundé. They use people in our communities to claim that they are doing things for us. They don't have minds. They don't have souls. They don't ask themselves, will I come back to this community? Will I not face the same challenges? No. They are now machines. Let's continue.
Détruire.
Rouge, dans la promotion, la formation des élites
camerounaise. Que pouvez-vous nous dire à ce sujet? Oui, M. Moda, effectivement, fort de mon expérience à la police judiciaire et aux renseignements généraux, j'ai beaucoup appris, et étant à la police judiciaire, j'ai vécu des situations inimaginables. Je rentrais le soir, j'étais incapable de dormir. Des épouses, des hautes personnalités, elles prenaient le courage à deux mains, elles venaient vers moi à la PJ, à la police judiciaire, pour se plaindre de leur mari. C'était des femmes complètement abattues. Et lorsque vous voulez savoir de quoi il était question, bien sûr, ouais, elles vous disaient qu'elles ont des enfants, garçons et filles, qui sont violés, violés, oui, par leur père, le géniteur.
Can you hear that? Did you hear? Listen, folks. I don't know how else I will say it to the people of Ambazonia. Whenever I say here that the fight we are fighting is too big because we have to restore even the soul of our nation, people think I'm joking. You hear me saying what we know. He was a senior superintendent of police in charge of the judiciary police. And he tells you that sometimes, too often when he went back home in the evening, he found it hard to sleep. He could not sleep. Sleep would not get into his eyes. Why? The reason is simple. Because too often at the office, wives of senior state functionaries, top state functionaries, which will be wives of ministers, of directors general, of secretaries general, of directors, and all of those kind of people, will come to him complaining. They will muster the courage, come to you complaining, weeping, totally broken, crestfallen, to complain that their husbands were defiling their children, both girls and boys alike. Did you hear that? Both boys and girls alike. You're wondering why Brenda Biya is the ngaput that she is? We have watched videos of Brenda Biya tell you she just hasn't had the courage to tell us exactly the things that they happened. But you see the child the way she is? It's because of those practices. Those who are in the palace tell you it was Belinga Epotu who was charged with executing that task. Belinga Epotu of blessed memory. So, you wondering why Paul Biya, none of the children had with Chantal is anything, the other one is an Efulefu. I'm not mocking, I'm just making a statement, okay? I'm just stating the fact. And Brenda Biya, see the way she can do all of those things. The system can't go after her. Why? Because that is the environment she grew up into. Because those are the things she experienced as she was growing up. Because those things did not spare her. They were visited on her as she was growing. Some may not have the courage to tell you. My people of Ambazonia often had chills assertively on some of us. Okay? First-hand information from some people who live around it to tell us this place is Armageddon already. That this place is worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. I said it before. Worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. Do you hear him? What do you expect of people who have to live in that kind of life? And he will tell you worse, that sometimes the sects, the demonic sects to which they belong, require that they even carry out those horrible, despicable, shameful acts on their own children in the presence of their wives. who watch powerless. They don't have where to go. They can't talk because they fear for their lives. They can't talk because they don't know what happens to them next. Because these people, they own the republic. Because those sects manage the republic. Because it is official. Because the president of the republic is the champion of all of those sects. Sure, you read in some of the publications of one young man at the time. His name was Ebale Angunu. Ebale Angunu. If you recall, the titles published by Le Messager of Pius Njawa at the time. And that's why the system could not forgive Pius Njawa. They had to chase him right into the US and kill him. The title was Ebale Angunu Debara. Oh. Ebale Angunu explained that Paul Biya's first wife, Jeanne-Irene Biya, was doomed from the moment she met her husband, Paul Biya, in an incomprehensible position with a dog. In an incomprehensible position, you heard me well. I didn't see what you were thinking. In an incomprehensible position with a dog. It's documented. I'm not the one saying it. And if you leave the film of the day, Jean-Irene Biya will be shot dead at the Unity Palace of La Republique du Cameroun, where Paul Biya faked a trip to Senegal. Of course, it's not a secret to anyone that nobody ever saw the corpse. Nobody. It was sealed. Even the foreign heads of state that came for the funeral did not have the chance to get to what they call viewing of the remains. Because the plan was to fire on the chest, but incidentally, they blew off the head. And how the poor man already knew that her end had come. Because she had told Paul Biya, what have you become? We're Christians. We have a lot of money. Why is this not? Leave this power. Let us take a rest. Satanism had taken over. And this, my people of Ambazonia, is what has been visited all now people of the Southern Cameroons in those circles. Ever wondered why they are killing their people, burning down their villages, roasting their people alive? Not one of them has lifted the little finger. Not one of them. Watch this.
Very good report card from nursery school to university, but jobless. Where am I heading to? So we want to tell Cameroonians, gather those report cards and bring. Prophet said, I will give him. Go and give your President Paul Biya. Either we have good report cards with job, or we take your report cards back and allow us jobless and know that we have nowhere to go. God created this nation, gave us life, but wickedness has placed us under darkness. Okay. And that's why deliverance will even start here with people like Prof. Okay. First, stop defending evil. Okay. So very good report card from nursery school to university, but jobless. Where am I heading?
Now you see, we see people are brought to television sets to defend what they know is indefensible. It's something you can't defend. To defend evil. I'm not the one calling out. No, I said nothing. I'm not the one calling out. But you see, although the unfortunate thing is that this young man who was crying out, screaming like this, has joined the fold. I don't know if he's already gone to the point of initiation. But he's quiet now. He cannot talk again like this. Because he fell to the mantra, if you can't beat them, join them. That's what he fell to. That's what they call me and say every day. That's what they call a lot of us in this liberation movement and say, you cannot beat us, just join us. Some are falling to it, collecting bitterness in the name of bribes, turning against the same liberation movement they were professing yesterday with all their might. My people of Ambazonia, light and darkness cannot operate together. Impossible. We of the Southern Cameroons, unevenly yoked with the Republique du Cameroun, we got no future. None. We have no future. This is why I remind our people on a daily basis, we must rise to the occasion. Because look at this. What is the use? Look at these fellows. Oh, PhD holders, crying for salvation, sitting on the streets everywhere and crying for jobs. Who pays attention to them? Who cares? Who bloody cares? No. Those people don't have hearts anymore. They are no longer human beings. They don't have consciences. They lost them a long time ago. Long time ago. They only pay allegiance to the satanic realms to which they are affiliated. And to Paul Biya. That's why you touch in the morning and say Paul Biya. Touch in the afternoon and say Paul Biya is the only one. Touch in the evening and say Paul Biya is the only one. My dear people of Ambazonia, you cannot appeal to the consciences of such people because they don't have consciences. This is why I say it and I reiterate that this fight is a fight for our very existence. This fight is a fight to restore the soul of our nation. This fight is a fight to restore our human dignity. This fight is a fight to make sure that your children, my children, our grandchildren and great-grandchildren will never be subjected to such inhumanity at any point in their lives. If you and I have survived it, we are not so sure that they will survive it because the situation is only getting worse. It never gets better. That is why we must fight this fight and conclude it in this generation, in our lifetime. Listen to him again.
Et ce n'était pas des personnes de petit calibre. Il s'agit des personnalités. Bon, dans ce genre de situation, on ne va pas interroger.
So here he tells you that the people, the men whose wives will come complaining and crying, that their children are being defiled by their own fathers, both boys and girls, that they were not wives of any kind of Tom, Dick, or Harry. Shameful. Hear him.
Une personnalité sans avoir une autorisation de la hiérarchie.
Bien sûr.
Bon, parfois, tout au moins, la majorité de cas, je ne recevais pas d'autorisation. Et lorsque je pouvais me battre d'une manière ou d'une autre, à me rapprocher de la personnalité.
So here he tells you that when he gets these complaints from the wives, his own hands were tied. God. His own hands were tied because he could not summon these husbands accused for investigations, for interrogations, without authorization from the hierarchy. And so he must seek authorization from the hierarchy. This is why the Yaoundé system is centralized. This is why they don't believe in decentralization. This is why they don't believe in the separation of powers. This is why they don't believe in democracy. This is why they will never believe in federalism. This is why that rubbish people even calling devolution, they will never believe in it. Because they have to have everything under control. Everything, including your ability to breathe fresh air. They have to have it under control. This is not how our country was set up. The Southern Cameroons was a very democratic and open society. And this is why here, also even at this moment, we were still fighting for that freedom. We call it the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. Because we believe in separation of powers. We believe in regional autonomy. We believe in a system where the people right at local government level will be allowed to define their own development priorities because they know best what they need, what will change the dynamics in their communities. Of course, that's a system that obtains in the United States of America. Gets right down to counties, even gets sometimes right down to cities, to just cities, right down to wards. It does. Where the people have the power to sit down and determine their own development priorities and determine how their life will be run. Like Republique du Cameroun, no. Powers have to be centralized because everything has got to be controlled. And the people, therefore, are made prisoners. That's why he tells you that he could not summon any of those people accused for investigation because he needed authorization from the hierarchy. What authorization from the hierarchy? It has to come from Biya. He was sent to the secretary, to his regional delegate of national security, for public security. The regional delegate will send to the delegate general of national security. The delegate general of national security will say, I have sent to Biya, I'm waiting for feedback. And he says in the end, he never ever got any authorizations. And so what did he do? He resorted to try sometimes to contact these men privately to try and talk to them. And what did he experience in doing that? Listen.
On me renvoyait, en fait, après, on pouvait arracher quelques mots sur des confidences le concerné. Il me renvoyait à des loges, des contraintes des loges, et qu'il ne faisait pas ça sciemment pour détruire ses propres enfants. Et que parfois on leur demandait même de faire ça en présence de leur épouse.
Did you hear that? So see, when he contacted some of these individuals, some of these men, some of these high-ups privately to try and talk to them in confidence, some told him, you see, these things, there are instructions from the demonic sects to which they belong. They have to obey. And they will explain that they don't deliberately want to destroy their own children, but they are forced to. They don't have a choice because there are instructions from the demonic sect to which they belong. He even pushes further to say what I had said before, that sometimes it even gets worse when they require them to carry out these satanic acts on their own children in the presence of their mothers. Wonder why you see the children just grow and start, children of a lot of those big men, they start getting wild, they obey, they respect neither the mother nor the father. That is why. This is explained. So, those Southern Cameroons folks who called me yesterday were saying, you know, this thing, we do really want this freedom. I asked them, then what stops you? And they say, you cannot understand. This is the explanation. This is the explanation. All of them. All of them. Without exception. Anyone that got there and resisted to do this would definitely have been very short-lived in that administration. You'll be kicked out. And if you got to a point where you already knew too much for them to just kick you out and leave you, they either throw you in jail or they kill you. They look for one reason or the other and you're away. You're taken off the surface of the earth. Just imagine that. Just imagine the pain, the anguish. You, a mother, you will stand and watch your husband defiling his own daughter, his own son, right before your eyes. Are you still human? It's painful. It's painful. This is not the kind of society that our forebears opted for when they accepted to get into some quasi kind of union with La Republique du Cameroun. This is not what they bargained for. No, no, it's not what our people bargained for. Absolutely. That is why the late John Funcha, when he started fighting to get us out of this and couldn't, I said, my people, and Aijo said, which people? I told Aijo, when our children grow up, they will fight. That is why the late Barrister Bernard Acho Muna said, let them fight. Let them bloody fight. The future is theirs. Mine is already behind me. I can die tomorrow. And indeed, he did die. He did pass on to glory. But with that satisfaction that he told us to fight, to bloody fight for our future. If we let this thing fail in our hands, what will we tell posterity? What will we tell the Molan Jolly Tumbes, the Bernard Achomuna, the Chief Justice Ebongalames, the Ayamba Ete Otons, the White Chance? What will we tell them? What will we tell them? What will we tell all those SCSC activists who used to be captured for no good reason and they would die in jails here and there? What will we tell them? What will we tell Mama Api? What will we tell them? What will we tell Bebe Banditato, Bebe Carol Louis? What will we tell them? What will we tell Sam Sawyer? All those who have died fighting to free our homeland. What will we tell them? We have to fight. Form this liberation movement. Put in your efforts. We have to fight like there is no tomorrow to set our people free, to set our homeland free, to secure a future for our children and our children's children. This is a sacred duty we must not fail in. Hear this kind of satanic things. Are you still going to have peaceful sleep tonight after listening to this, understanding this, and you fail to rise up to support this liberation movement? Are you still going to have peaceful sleep? Every liberation movement has problems. Don't come and tell me that there have been challenges. It is for this reason that I went away. No, we have no choice. We have to be fixing and fighting and going. That is the mantra. That is the only thing we are left with. We have no other choice but to do all we can to secure homeland. Let's hear him out and finish.
Donc, cette histoire m'a tellement abattu, je passais mon temps à m'interroger. Comment on peut faire son enfant, garçon ou fille, il fait popo, il fait pipi sur vous, et puis après, un jour vous vous retrouvez sur cet enfant, ou derrière cet enfant. Bon, tout ça m'a tellement... j'ai gardé tout ça en mémoire.
Yeah, it's painful. You hear him? He can't understand. Just like I can't understand. You too can't understand. We don't need to understand. The only thing we have to understand is that we have to send these people out of our territory. The only thing we have to understand is that we have to send Porbia's colonial administration out of our territory. The only thing we should understand is that we have to fight like hell to secure our homeland, to separate ourselves from being unevenly yoked with the people who don't believe in the things of light, who believe in the things of darkness. And you see, that is why senile individuals like this one that I'm about to show you will start and be talking gibberish, and young people whose future is being mortgaged are cheering here.
Un certain évêque originaire de Mayo Ouldemé avait dit qu'il faut tuer Paul Biya pour que quelqu'un vienne, je ne dis pas son nom, tous le connaissent, pour qu'il vienne remplacer Paul Biya. Il ne manque jamais. Il ne perd jamais. Il n'a pas besoin d'un persécuté. Depuis les musulmans, les catholiques, les adventistes, les protestants, personne n'a vu ce diable-là. Qui a vu le diable?
So you look at an old senile fellow talking inanities. And the people whose future is at stake are cheering. Why? Because they know that after those claps, after the cheer, in the end, they will receive 1,000 francs note, 2,000 francs note, bread and sardine, and some bottles of beer. That is what their lives have been reduced to. These are not the kind of people we have to mix with. And you see, he's talking there about a bishop who said the level of Satanism in La Republique du Cameroun has attained its apogee. And so for that reason, the author of it, or Biya, needs to go. Better that devil himself comes and takes over, then they can fight him straight up. That is what this lunatic, sorry to call him that, but that's what he is. That's what he is referring to. You want to hear? Listen to that bishop directly. Just a moment while I get this bishop to come respond to Kavae. Did I miss him? Oh my goodness. This is not him.
Bleu peut prendre le Cameroun. On ne va pas souffrir plus que ça encore. On a déjà souffert. Le pire ne viendra pas. Même le diable, qu'il prenne d'abord le pouvoir au Cameroun et on verra après. Amen.
Amen.
Did you hear that? Exasperated. The bishop said, let the devil himself just come and take over. Because what is happening now is horrible, that there's nothing worse than this that's still to come. Because it has attained the apogee. People of Southern Cameroons, are this who we are? People of Southern Cameroons, is this what we want for our land? People of Ambazonia, is this what we are ready to condone in our land? I can hear you all screaming no. Yeah, I can see somebody typing there down there screaming no, no. The best way to do it is to join the resistance. We have to resist. We have to resist with all our might. With all our might. You see, there are even people who stood up yesterday to say bang bang. They changed, eh? You thought you have seen senility. This is another piece of senility. Look at this. Did you see what happened? You might have missed what happened. I will let it begin again just so you take a good look at it. At exactly what happened. This man you are seeing on my screen is Jacques Famenobo. You see, he came, the senior divisional officer was ready to greet him. He couldn't, he didn't notice. They're all senile. That's a minister of higher education. They're all senile. You have this kind of bunch of riffraffs running a country. And you're expecting something good can come out of it. Look at him. You see, they only have to arrest, have to hold him, turn him back and say, no, this is where you start. Professor Jacques Famendongo. These are the senile, satanic group of people who have held our land hostage. And then the people think that you could turn to scholars and believe in them. And you found some of them who will come on TV screens and lambast. You say, yes, this man is talking. This is a people. The people say, and a boat. He's talking. And yeah, that is the case of Eric Matthias Onangini, whom you are seeing in this picture. I'm sure you all recall a clip that was played here, where he was talking about le mot qui mine le Cameroun, about the evil things that are destroying Cameroon. And among them, he talked of l'aristocracy. You recall, he talked of all of the classes when he was condemning that government. This is Eric Matthias Onangin, as you see in that picture there, marching now, begging for Paul Biya, for 93-year-old senile nonaginaire Paul Biya to be candidate for president in 2025. Don't think it's only a picture, you may see it's Photoshop. Watch. That's Eric Matthias Onangin. That is Eric Matthias Onangin. They just needed to make him rector at the University of Yaoundé too, and ask him to pick a pin. They just needed to pick a pin, and they gave him his own dose from behind, and immediately all of those classes that he was condemning became virtues. Overnight, Eric Matthias Onangini converted. That's him again. How far? This is not the place for us, folks. This is not the place for us. This is just not the place for us. You would have imagined a woman like Chantal Biya living in pain and in tears because her children have all become nincompoops, because her children are all vegetable. Hell no! The good things of life. That is Mama Chantal Biya for you. Nothing good, nothing good can come out of Yaoundé. Nothing good can come out of the Republique du Cameroun for the people of Ambazonia. You recall the Bible account that says when God was going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, he had a conversation with Abraham. Abraham asked, did the way from heaven to Sodom and Gomorrah pass through Abraham's house? That's not the issue here. And when Abraham began to intercede on behalf of Sodom and Gomorrah, he told God that what if there are 10 good people in that place? We used to destroy it. God said, show me 10. What if there are 8? God says, show me 8. What if there are just 7? Show me 7. What if there are 5? God said, show me 5. What if there are 4? Show me 4. Okay, what if there are just 2? God said, show me the 2. At all of these points, Abraham could not show the number he was saying. That's why he kept going down. He said, what if there is only 1? And God said, show me that 1. Just 1. And I'll spare Sodom and Gomorrah. My dear people of Ambazonia, we have to fight to restore the soul of our land. It is painful, but that is the reality. We don't just have to scream like this young man. We have to do the needful. Don't scream like him.
So we want to tell Cameroonians, gather those report cards and bring. Prophet said, we'll give him. Go and give your President Paul Biya. Either we'll have good report cards with job, or we'll take your report cards back and allow us jobless and know that we have no way to go. God created this nation, gave us life, but wickedness has placed us under darkness. Okay. And that's why deliverance will even start here with people like Prof. Okay. First, stop defending evil. Okay. So, very good report card from nursery school to university, but job.
So did you hear that? We don't have to scream like him. Because he screamed like this, experience has shown that people who scream like this, when they give them small, they fall in line. Like this young man, finally fell in line. No, we have to do the heavyweight lifting. Stand up for what we believe in. Stand up and be counted in this liberation movement. We have to fight. We started with this young damsel. Let's close with her.
To battle with warriors. I came with great men. I came with champions. I came with men who are saviors, protectors of their clan. I came with great and real men. What I see here are weaklings, banana stems. What is it? You're tired? You wish to go home? Go home to your wives and children who are eagerly waiting to hear the good news that we won this war. And tell them, like weaklings, we lost the war. No! No. Because I am the leader of this war, I say this war is not over until we win. I would rather die in battle than die on my knees begging another man for my inheritance. We fight for our people. We fight for our rights. We fight for freedom. And I say we battle. I say we battle till we die. I say we battle till we win. I say this war is not over until we win. Warriors, on your feet. Pick up your...
And so, that's how we end it today. We fight. We battle. Until we win. No retreat, no surrender. It is the hard way, but that is unfortunately the only way. We have to fight. We have to battle. We can't go on our knees to be begging la Republique du Cameroun for our inheritance. No, we take it. Oh my goodness, how I enjoy this statement from the Bible. That the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, but the children of God taketh it by force. By force. We fight until we win. This is not time to chicken out. We are not surrendering. We will not surrender. We will stay the course until we see a free, democratic, independent, and prosperous Southern Cameroons. To God be the glory.